Okay, so we'll discuss a Sqoop import to Hive and a Sqoop export from SDFS to RDBMS and how to run Sqoop job, right? So these are the three things we are going to discuss in today's session. Okay, so now yesterday what we did, we have imported the data to the Hadoop SDFS cluster, SDFS, right? So the file system SDFS, and we have specified some target directory, and we have imported the records to a specific directory in SDFS, right? Now what I want to do is, now I don't want to import the data to SDFS, so because I'm going to process the data using Hive, right? I'm using Hive as a data processing tool. So where Hive, I'm going to create the tables in Hive, right? So the Hive is also similar kind of MySQL syntaxes we are having, right? So in the MySQL we are going to create the table, but MySQL is a database, right? In Hive we are going to create the table, but Hive is not a database, right? Hive is just, it's a thrift client where we are going to process the data, where the data is available in SDFS, correct? So now, so whenever you're trying to load the data into the SDFS, fine. Once get the data to the SDFS, and after that create a table in Hive, then we can load the data from the SDFS to Hive. So whenever you load the data into Hive, then again Hive stores it somewhere into SDFS. Means what? We'll get the data two locations. In the sense, uh, okay, what is my requirement is, generally my data is available in the production database, and when you are going to import the data, so I'm importing it to the SDFS, right? But what is my requirement? I want to process the data. To process the data, so I have to create the table in Hive. So what I did, I have created a some table in Hive. Okay, after that, from this SDFS I have to load the data into Hive table, right? So when we load the data into Hive table, Hive stores its table data. Hive stores its table data into its own location in SDFS. Like Hive stores its table data in warehouse. Hive warehouse is a location in the SDFS. Means what? So first we are getting the data to the SDFS, so that we are having one copy of the data, right? After that we are loading the same data into Hive table, right? Again Hive is storing the data somewhere into the SDFS. Means now we have loaded the data twice, which is the not the correct way to do the import, right? So what I want to do now, instead of importing to the SDFS from SDFS to Hive, I can able to import the data from the RDBMS to, I can able to import the data from the RDBMS to Hive directly. Okay, so this is considered it's a Hive. Okay, so instead of sending SDFS from SDFS to Hive, I can able to import the data from the RDBS to RDBMS to Hive. So this import we call it as a Hive imports. So whenever you are going to import into the Hive, right? So we have the two things we have to remember. Now the schema which you define for the RDBMS, and the schema which you are going to define in the Hive, correct? So in the Hive MySQL will have its own data types. The Hive will have its own data types. Now suppose you take some table test with the test id is an integer, the test name is a string, right? It's the table schema is test id, and the test name both integer and string is the table schema, MySQL table schema. Now you're sending the data to the Hive. So in the Hive we use the integer and string is a Hive schema, right? Now how you have to define the schema. First we have to define it. That means what I'm going to say, we can able to import to the Hive using two ways. One is I can import the table schema to Hive. So what is which table schema? MySQL table schema to the Hive. After that import the data to the SDFS. After that, load the data from SDFS to Hive. Right, we have the three steps. So one is we have to import the table schema, right? How we have the MySQL table, I want to import the same structure to the in the Hive. Okay, so now I don't want to specify what are the fields are there, how this conversion is taking place. So I just want to give this responsibility to the Sqoop. So for that one, I have a command is available in the Sqoop. So the command is Sqoop. Okay, Sqoop create Hive table is a command we are having. Right, so whenever you run this Sqoop create Hive table, so it will create a MySQL table schema into the Hive. Right, so after that, once the schema is defined into the Hive, then we are trying to load the data into imported data of the MySQL into the Hive table. Right, so this is what we are going to do. Is a one thing, and we have another way. So this is one way we are going to import to the Hive. We can and see, this is another way which we call it as Hive imports. Okay, so in the Hive imports, when we are importing the data, Hive, I'll import. First we will import table schema first. After that, we'll import table data. Right, in one query I can able to do the two things. So in the step one, first we have to define the schema in Hive. After that, we have to import the data to the SDFS. Then we have to load the data from the SDFS to Hive. So this is one way we can get the data from the RDBMS to Hive directly. Otherwise, we can able to use Hive imports. Right, so let me show you this quickly. Okay, I'm going to the terminal. So right, so take a terminal. Now I'm connecting to the MySQL. So write MySQL -u root -p. Right, the password is cloud era. Okay, so the database which I'm going to connect is test one. Use test. Right, so I have some tables are available. Right, so this is MySQL terminal. Okay, so now I'll take one another terminal to work Sqoop. Right, so this is the environment which I'm going to work in the Sqoop in this terminal, and I'm taking one more terminal to work with HDFS. Okay, now in the Sqoop, so first what we have to do, so we have to import the data. So first I'm importing which table. I'm taking Sqoop exp is a one table in right in MySQL. So now I want to import this Sqoop exp table to the into Hive. See here, suppose if you're going to the Hive, right, I'm going to the Hive terminal. Okay, now here write the string. Okay, so first perform the import Sqoop import. Before that, make sure that so there is no Sqoop exp in SDFS. So I'm deleting if any directory is there with the name Sqoop exp in SDFS. So just write Hadoop space fs-rmr Sqoop exp. Okay, right, so now what I want to do is first I want to use the first procedure. First I will import the data to the SDFS, then I'll create that schema into the Hive, then I'll load the data into the Hive table. Right, so for that, first import the data to SDFS. Just write Sqoop import, then write the connection string connect jdbc colon mysql colon / localhost, and the database name is test. Then write the table name. So what is the table name which I'm going to import? The table name is Sqoop exp. Right, now specify the how many number of mappers you want to run. One. Okay, one mapper I'm using. Okay, now what Sqoop will do? Sqoop will import the records into the SDFS directory. Okay, now in the next step, I'll create a table schema. Whatever how we have the MySQL table, I want to design the same schema into the Hive table using Sqoop. Okay, now I have imported 4 records the SDFS. After that, now we have a command is available. The command is Sqoop space create a Hive table. Right, so this command will create a table schema in Hive. So the table which we are going to import from the RDBMS, so the table schema will be the similar schema can be created into the Hive table. So just write Sqoop space create Hive table, then after that write the connection string. Now when you run this command, Sqoop try to create a directory in Hive, sorry, create a table in Hive. So whatever the table name in the MySQL with the same table name and the same fields. So whatever the fields you are having the MySQL, so that fields along with its data types can be uh, defined into the Hive. So if the we have relevant data types are there, it will create. So suppose we have certain data types are there in MySQL, maybe they are not available in Hive. So what Sqoop will do? Sqoop will try to convert the every MySQL data type into the Java data type. After that, it will be defined as a one particular field data type in Hive. Okay, so I'm going to write Sqoop space create Hive table, then as usual write the connection string connect jdbc colon mysql colon slash slash localhost. Okay, the table name is test, database name is test, and the table name is Sqoop exp. Okay, so when it is creating the table in Hive, so in a Hive table we have to specify the delimiter, how your input data, how fields are separated in input data. So for that I am going to write fields terminated by. So what is the delimiter in the input data? So by default, when we are going to import the data from the RDBMS to SDFS, Sqoop will create the fields separated by the comma. It's a default delimiter. So even when I'm trying to create the data into the Hive table, so now this Hive table will accept the data where the data fields in the data is separated by the comma. That is the field separator in the input data, that's we call it as a delimiters. So in my input data, each field is separated by the comma. So here I am writing fields terminated by the comma. Okay, press enter. Now Sqoop will try to, it will create a table in Hive. It's taking some time. So where I'm going to import, I'm going to import this into the SDFS. So now I'm specifying how many number of mappers you want to run. So in the step one, what we have to do, we have to import the data to the SDFS, right? So to import the data to the SDFS, so we wrote this command. So when we run this command, now Sqoop will create a directory in SDFS under that what it will be the MySQL table name, uh, the test one, right? It will create a directory with the name test1 in SDFS. Now after that we have to define the table schema in Hive. So which schema we have to define? How we have the MySQL table, the same kind of table we have to define in Hive. So that so I don't want to do this, right? I want Sqoop to do this, right, automatically. For these things we have a command is there, Sqoop create Hive table. So just write Sqoop create Hive table. So now what Sqoop will do now, whatever the MySQL table is there, it will try to create a same table, right? Half the MySQL table is there, the same kind of table it will try to create into the SDFS, sorry, into the Hive table. So for that I'm going to run the command Sqoop space create Hive table. It is okay. Then write this. After that, write the connection string connect JDBC colon MySQL colon slash slash, write the local host and the database name test and the table name test1. Okay, now specify. So when you are going to create a table in Hive, so every Hive table we have to specify the delimiter, right? So how input data is specified. To write the delimiter, I am writing a parameter like this, fields terminated by. Okay, so the delimiter is a comma. Now when you run this command, so how we have the MySQL table, the same kind of table schema is created into the Hive. So after that what we have to do, in the third step we have to load the data from the SDFS to Hive. So in the first we have imported the data to the SDFS, then here in the step 2 we have created a table schema in Hive. Now the data which we have imported to the SDFS in the step 1 we have to load into the table which you have created in the step 2, right? So now just write here. So go to the Hive terminal. In the Hive terminal you have to write load data, right? What is the table name? Just in a single quote write the table name. So my table name is test1, and write into the table, right? MySQL table name is test1. Okay, so when we this test one is which we have imported the data to the SDFS, the test one is, right? So when we first import the data, Sqoop will try to create a Sqoop will create a directory in SDFS. This is the directory which is in SDFS. Now in the Sqoop, in the step 2 we have created a table, right? The Sqoop created a table. So what is the database table name in the database? The same table is created in Hive. So the table name is test1. So this test1 is the directory in SDFS, and this test1 is the table in Hive. So we are going to load the data from the SDFS directory test1 to the Hive table test1. So this is to perform the importing the data from the RDBMS to Hive, right? Let me show you this quickly. Okay, so I'm going to start MySQL. Okay, write MySQL -u root -p, right? Then so I'm going to start the MySQL. Okay, so take a terminal and start mysql -u root -p root. Okay, so to see the databases, just write show databases. Okay, so we have the database test, so use test show tables. Okay, now we take one table, test one, right? So you can see DESC test one, right? So we have the test ID in test name. So if you write select star from test one, it's an empty. I'll take x1 is a one table I'm having, right? Some data I'm having. We can see DESC x1. Now I want to import this x1 table to the Hive. So for this I'm going to the Hive terminal. Hive, this is the Hive environment. So first make sure that so there is no table x1 exists, right? Before doing this, just write DESC x1. So if the table is there, then it will describe the table structure. So now I'm going to delete the table. So I'm writing drop x1, right? So just write the drop table x1, right? Now there is no table x1 in Hive. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to import this x1 table to the Hive. So for that one we have the three steps. So the first one is we have to import. So just write Sqoop import, write the connection string, database name and the table name, right? Number of mappers, press enter. Okay, I get error, so already exists error. Okay, now I'm going to import the x1 table, not the test one. It's a x1 table. Now Sqoop will create a directory with the name x1 and it write the data into the x1 directory under the path file. Okay, so now it retrieved 5 records to the SDFS. Now what is the step 2? In the step 2 we have to create a Hive table. So just write Sqoop create Hive table, right? So write the connection string and what is the table name? The table name is x1. Okay, and how input fields are separated, right? Input fields are separated by the comma, because see here if you check uh, Hadoop space fs-ls, and the one which we have imported is with the directory x1 is available, right? So in this one we have a path file is there. So the path -m-00 is the path file. Now cat. Okay, see now each field is separated by the comma. So what is the delimiter in input data, right? What is the delimiter in the SDFS x1 directory in SDFS, comma. So when I'm trying to load this data into the Hive table, so I'm specifying that each field is separated by the comma. So I'm going to create a Hive table where Hive table will accept the delimiters in that each delimiter is a comma. So let me create the table structure in Hive. So then write Sqoop create Hive table. Okay, press enter. Now okay, create Hive table, then write connect database colon mysql colon slash slash localhost. The database name is test, and then the table name is a x1 is the table name, correct. Now what is the delimiter right here? So the delimiter is comma, so I'm writing fields terminated by comma. Okay, we got error, it's saying that there is no hyphen here. Okay, now this command will create a table in Hive. It will create an empty table in Hive. So that the table name is x1 table, right? See now, okay, right? So the completed. So let me check this. Open the Hive terminal. Okay, now you can see DESE x1, right? The table structure is created and it is an empty table. So if you write select star from x1, right, empty table. So now we completed the step 1 and we have completed the step 2. Now in the step 3, what we have to do in the Hive terminal, now we have to load the data. So from the SDF directory test1 to the Hive table test1. So just write the in the Hive terminal, write the command load data in path. So from where I have to load the data? From x1, which is in SDFS directory. From this I want to load the data into the table. What is the table name? X1, right? So let me load data in path. So x1 into table x1. Now see, now we try to load the data from the SDFS directory x1 to Hive table x1. So if you write select start from x1, right? So see, now we have loaded the data into Hive table, right? So this is from the MySQL to Hive, how to import the data from the MySQL to Hive. Okay, so we have the second thing, we can use Hive imports. So what is a Hive import? Now instead of, so we are doing the 3 steps here. First we are going to run the Sqoop import. After that I'm going to create a table structure in Hive. Then I'm trying to load the data. So instead of the things, Sqoop provides the direct Hive imports. So when you write the Hive import, first it will create the table structure. After that it imports the data into the table. So now you can write something like this. Okay, so I'll choose a different table from the MySQL. So if you write show tables, okay, so here I'm using SAM1. So you can write select star from SAM1. Okay, so I'm having this table. Now I want to import this SAM1 table to the Hive directly, right? So both the table structure as well as table data in one run. So I don't want to do the 3 steps which we did previously. So for that we can able to import through Hive imports. It's a Sqoop regular import. So as usual, have you write the Sqoop import? The same way you have to write the Sqoop, then write the Sqoop import, write the connection string JDBC colon mysql colon slash slash localhost is the connection string and the database name is the test, and then write the table name. So which table I want to import? I want to import the table SAM1. So write table SAM1. Now we are specifying Sqoop to first create a table structure in Hive. After that, it has to load the data into the table. So for that, we have to specify. So please make this as a Hive import by writing a parameter hyphen hyphen write Hive hyphen import. So when you write Hive import, then first Sqoop will create a table structure in MySQL. After that, it loads the data into the table. So both the table schema as well as table data can be created with one command. So first it will create the table structure. After that, it will get the data from the RDBMS. Then it writes the data into the Hive table. So it's a regular Sqoop import, but at the end we have to add one parameter, that is Hive import. Okay, so I'm going to copy and I'll run. Okay, so before that, check whether do we have any table with the name Samban. So if it is there, I'm going to delete it. So just write drop table Samban. Right now there is no Samban, right? So if you write DSC Samban, it will throw the error because there is no table Sam1. Now I'll try to create a table in Hive with the table name Sam1. Then I want to write the data. I want to import the MySQL Sam1 data to the Hive table Sam1. So for that, I'm going to run a Sqoop import. So just write as usual Sqoop import command, Sqoop import, then write the connection string. So connect JDBC colon MySQL colon slash slash, write the local host, and the database name is a test, then the table name is the SAM1 is the table name, right? So the number of mappers I want is one mapper. Now it has to create a table structure, and after that it has to write the data into the table. So for that I have to add one parameter, that is Hive import. Okay, press enter. Right now Sqoop will create a table structure in Hive. After that it will import the data into the table, right? So we got an error. It's saying that okay, it's already in SDFS, we have the sample. So first I'll delete this Hadoop space fs hyphen rmr, then write sample. Okay, now there is no sample in. Okay, now I'm going to run the Sqoop import again. Okay, so now it will create a table in the Hive with the table name Sam1. First it creates the table schema. After that it writes the table data into the Sam1. Right, instead of the doing the three steps what we did previously, so we are going to do all those things with a single one command. So that is Hive import. So we have to add at the end, we have to add the parameter Hive import. So this is the Sqoop import command. So generally with regular Sqoop import, for this if you add the parameter Hive import, then it will first import the table schema into the Hive. After that it writes the data into the table. So now we can, let me see in this Hive table, where is Hive terminal here. Now see, in the previously when you read DAC SAM1, it's there is no table, right? So what we did now, we have imported the table structure with the name SAM1. So now you can see DAC SAM1 will have the sum records. So now if you write select start from SAM1, okay, right? So this is how we have imported data from the MySQL to Hive table, right? So it's in the first run, what we did in the first run, we have imported three ways, right? First get it, we have imported to SDFS, then we have created the table schema. After that from SDFS to we have loaded the data into Hive table. So this is one way we are going to import the data from the RDBMS to the Hive. If you don't want to go with this a little bit complex, then we have Hive imports are there, where Sqoop will create a table structure. After that the data will be loaded directly to the table, right? So these are the two different ways where we are going to import the data from the RDBMS to Hive. Okay, so now I'm going to see how to export the data from the Hadoop cluster to the RDBMS, right? So you can we have for this we have a command is there, Sqoop export, right? In the previously we have used the command Sqoop import to import the data. Now we can use Sqoop export command to export the data, right? So now which table you have to export? See here, now I want to export the data from the Hive to MySQL. So now you can pick a one, we'll choose one table. So just write show tables in Hive, right? So we have the tables are, so these are the tables. So let me select start from, so X1, right? Again, I'll delete this in MySQL, right? So drop table, okay. First, let me create a table structure, create table, some X2, right? See first in the Hive, which table you want to import? I want export X1, right? To the SDFS MySQL database X1, right? So first make sure that whatever the schema of the table X1, we have to create this into the RDBMS. Okay, so that means, so what I want to do now, I have to export the data from where? SDFS. So in the SDFS we have a directory, and the directory we have a file is there where the file contains some data. Now I have to write this data, I have to export this data to the MySQL database. Means I want to export the Hive or SDFS data to the RDBMS table, right? So for these things, we have to first create a table structure in MySQL, right? So how we have the Hive table, the same kind of table we have to create in MySQL. After that, we have to export the data. Okay, so now here I'm having a table, right? X1 is there. I will have some data. So I'm going to MySQL. So I'm deleting the table, drop table X1, right? So now if you write show tables, right, there is no X1. So if you write dx1, right, the X1 does not exist, right? So this is the MySQL. Now what I have to do now, I want to send the data from the SDFS to RDBMS MySQL, or you can say Hive to RDBMS. So first, which table you want to export? X1 table. So now what is the table structure? DESE X1, right? So the table structure is having one is ID and the country and the city, right? Same, the create a table here, create a table, some, the table name is X1, and what we have, ID is an integer. Okay, so country and city, then write country is a varchar, city is a varchar. Okay, I have created a table in MySQL with the table name X1. So it's an empty table, right? If you write select start from, X1 is an empty table. Okay, so now I'm going to export the data. So it's a Sqoop terminal, clear the screen. Now write the command. So how to write? Write Sqoop space export. Okay, and then write the connection string, connect JDBC colon MySQL colon slash slash localhost, right? So which database? The test database. Which table you have to export the data? Now I have to export the data to the table X1, right? So just write the database name and, so database name, and then write the table name. So write hyphen hyphen table, the table name is X1, right? Now from where I have to export, right? I have to export the data from the Hive table. So Hive creates, Hive stores its data into Hive warehouse. So that is, you can check the location here. If you write, take a terminal. So if you write Hadoop space fs-ls, then user Hive warehouse is the location where Hive creates its data. Hive stores its data into Hive warehouse. So here we have the directory name is x1. Okay, is having some part file. So we'll have some data. Now I want to send this data to the RDBMS. So if you write Hadoop space fsfn cat, okay, under the x1 the file name is part m 00000, right? So this is the data, right, which I'm having in the SDFS. So now to send this data, so we have to write in the query, so from which location, from which data in which location you want to export. So that is export directory. So just write export directory. Now we have to specify the data from where in SDFS you want to export the data to the Hive. So what is the location here? The location is a user Hive warehouse x1, right? So just write this one, right? So where my data is available in this location. Okay, and now how the fields are separated here? Each field is separated by the comma. So now write that one, input hyphen fields hyphen terminated by. So write the delimiter. Okay, so just write the Sqoop export, then write the connection string, which table you have to export, and where this x1 data is available in SDFS. So and how fields are separated in this file. So just I'll run this, copy, take a terminal. So run this in MySQL terminal. Okay, press enter. Now it will export the data from the Hive warehouse x1 directory to the MySQL table x1. Okay, now exported 5 records. So now it exported records to the x1. So in the previous x1 is empty, right? So now if write select start from x1, right? So we have it imported 5 rows to the table x1 in RDBMS, right? So this is how to export the data from the Hadoop cluster to RDBMS, right? So we have discussed how to import the data from the RDBMS to SDFS as well as RDBMS to Hive, and we discussed how to export the data from the SDFS to RDBMS, right? Both important. Import the data from the production database to the Hadoop cluster. So I don't want to run this import every day, right? So that time what we'll do now, I have to create a job. So what we'll do, we'll create a job in Sqoop, right? So we call it as a Sqoop jobs. Now what we'll do now, we schedule this job to run on the specific interval, so that this job will import the data every day, right? So whatever the time specified by you, this job is going to be executed, and it imports the newly written records from the RDBMS to the SDFS. So that's we are going to do with the Sqoop job. So in the sense, so what I'm going to do is every day at evening sometime, end of the day, I'm going to import the data from the RDBMS to SDFS. Means every day I have to write Sqoop import command, right? So it will be, I think, so instead of those things, so it is something like I'm going to create a job, right? Now I'm scheduling this job to run on a specific interval. So now every day this job that particular specified time, it will connect to the rdbms, and whatever the data newly written this particular day, it will import that particular data to the Hadoop cluster. So that is possible with Sqoop jobs. So how to create a job? To create a job, you have to write a simple command: Sqoop space job, then create, right? So to create a job, so which job I want to create? Suppose I want to import the data from one table, MySQL table to the SDFS. So I want to do this on every day. So now for that I have to create a job. So how to create a job? So to create a job, then write Sqoop space job hyphen hyphen create. Now I am going to give a name to the job. So my job name, I am giving something daily import. Okay, so I'm going to create a job. The job name is daily import. Now this job will do what? It will import the data from the rdbms to sdfs. For that you have to run the command. Which command it is? Import, right? Hyphen hyphen, then write import, then write the connection string connect jdbc colon mysql colon slash slash localhost and the test is a database, right? And the table name is some table name, test one. Now every so a job is going to be created. So now if you want to import this, so no, next time onwards we no need to write the complete this import. So just we have to execute the job. So what is the job name? Daily import. So I have to execute the job. How we execute the job? To execute the job we have to write Sqoop space job, then hyphen hyphen exec to execute the job. What is your job name? Daily import, right? So when you execute the job, now this job will import the data from the test table, test database, test1 table to the sdfs directory, right? So if you want to write into the specific directory, yes, you can write target there Ajay. Now it will import the data into the Ajay directory. So this can be done by every day. So if you schedule this job, daily import job, to be run on the specific interval time, now every day that particular time it will try to import the newly written data into the Hadoop cluster, right? Let me run this. So copy this, take it to Sqoop terminal, right? How to create a job? So just write Sqoop space job, then write the job name, and then what actually which job you are going to create. I'm going to create a job. The job will try to import the data from the test1 table from the test database to the sdfs directory Ajay. Just write this and press enter. Right now a job is going to be created. So you want to check whether the job is created or not, just write Sqoop space job hyphen hyphen list. Okay, so here we have a it created a job. The job name is daily import. So how to run this job? So to run this job you have to write Sqoop space job, then hyphen exec. Okay, so what is the job name? The job name is daily import. Press enter. Right now it will import the data from the uh, right RDBMS to SDFS. So we got an error. What is saying that? So specify the number of mappers. So let me create this again. So first I'm going to delete the job. How to delete the job? So Sqoop, then write job hyphen hyphen delete. Which job? It's the job name is daily import. To delete a job. Okay. So now I'll create a job again. Okay. So here specify how many number of mappers you want to run. That so okay. So right? So I'm going to create, so with the number of mappers is 1 under the to the directory Ajay. Okay, so now to execute the job, then write Sqoop, then job space hyphen hyphen execute and the job name daily import. Now it will import the data from the test1 table to the SDFS directory Ajay. Right? What is the error here? File already exists exception because Ajay's already exist. So we have to create. Okay, right? Delete it. I'm going to create the job again. So I'm writing the new directory name Ajay123. Okay, the job is created. To run the job, write Sqoop space job hyphen hyphen exec and write the job name. Again, it's saying file already exists exception. Okay, the test one is already exists. So Hadoop space fs hyphen rmr test one. Right, it's saying that encountered IO exception running input job. File already exists exception. Ajay123 is there. Uh, Let me give some other name. 1234. Okay, so it retrieved 0 records. I think maybe the table is empty. Okay, so which table you have imported? Test one. So if you can check, select star from test one is an empty table. Okay, so this is how to create a job in Sqoop, right? So you can write, if you know, if you want to take the help, just write Sqoop space job, then hyphen hyphen help, right? It will show you how to, what are the parameters available, right? So create, delete, execute, and to list is to list the job names. Right? JDBC colon mysql colon slash slash localhost, database name is test. Press enter. So now a job is created. What is the job name? My job. To run the job, just write Sqoop space job hyphen exec and write the job. Now what this job will do, it will list the tables from the MySQL. Now see, these are the tables which are available in MySQL database, right? So this is how to create a table. So this how to create a job in Sqoop. So just write Sqoop space job, then hyphen create, then write the job name, and the which for which command you are doing, you have to write that command.